welcome back to Unfiltered with Brie. Today we have the glorious Victoria Duke from Victoria Duke. I cannot speak tonight, but anyway, continuing on. From the glorious Victoria Duke Beauty, she has her own brand. She is a celebrity artist who is trained in Paris, and she has a bunch of A-listers that we're going to be talking about. She's worked at the Grammys, the Oscars, the Emmys, Teen Choice Awards. This lady has been all over the place, and she is a queen and fabulous for it. She has her own Academy at Glam in South Florida, and we will be getting more into that. But thank you so much for coming on, Miss Victoria Duke, and it's so wonderful to have you.
Thank you so much for having me. It's always great seeing you and talking to you. So I jumped at the possibility of doing a little chat with you.
Well, thank you. I mean, we've known each other for about 5 years now.
I know you keep getting older, but I don't.
No, don't age a day. I mean, come on now. I mean, I had to bring this on.
Oh, yeah.
The 2019 Miss Pasco County, the first year we ever met each other.
Yes, and she was always fabulous every day. She'd come more fabulous than the next.
Thank you.
To have you in the makeup chair.
Well, that was all due to you and your glorious glam squad. Couldn't be anywhere without them today. I mean,
they're amazing. Really, truly amazing. I'm blessed.
Truly. And let's get right into it. Where did your journey begin as a celebrity makeup artist?
Well, you know what? I started, just doing makeup. I worked for a cosmetic company. I worked for Clinique, and in college. And I had to do a little drama, and us. So although I was working behind the counter, I got myself a little microphone, and I stood in front of the counter, and I encouraged people to step right up, and I would transform them. I just love what I do. I have a passion for it. And I studied makeup artistry in Paris, and I started working early, like when I was in college. I have a degree in psychology, which really helps as a makeup artist. So while I was going to school, I did makeup, I did brides, I did, small little pageants, and then I started, I started getting noticed and getting asked to do different things. And I started with music videos and more pageants. And I met a celebrity makeup artist. I worked for her company. Her company was Stila. And I worked a long time, doing great projects and getting a chance to experience all different things. And then I decided to get my own popcorn stand. So I started doing, it's funny because really as a makeup artist, people think it's just about applying makeup, but it's really about developing connections and making people feel beautiful and showing up and being prepared and all of those things that, you don't think of when you become a makeup artist. You just want to color people, but there's so much more to it. And I was able to grow with it, and just keep connecting and meeting different people. And so it's been a real blessing. My career has been really magical, and that's why I wanted to open my school. And it's been open for 15 years.
Yes. Congratulations on that.
Thank you. And I've trained thousands of makeup artists, but I always say beauty is an inside job, and there's so much more to it than what goes on the outside. It's about what's in the inside, and kindness and making people feel good and beautiful. So it's been fun.
That's incredible. And that transformed into your brand, Victoria Duke Beauty. And I gotta say, your liquid lipsticks are to die for. And ring light, oh my gosh.
I know there's nothing like those. And how that all happened was because I was doing people's makeup, and they say, "Oh, make a list of everything you used on me. I have to run and go get it, at the stores." And I thought it would be so much easier if I could create products that I loved. I'd use them on people, and then they can take them home with them and reproduce the look. So that's how it started. It took me 6 years because to create products that were in sometimes I wanted to have products that were even better than what I was using and that I loved. And the lip glosses, that really honestly is kind of my masterpiece. Um, it is a favorite among celebrities. So J-Lo's uses it so often and has ordered it over and over and over again, but really continues and is photographed in it with our lip gloss all the time. So I'm really proud of that. But then when I started working with beauty queens, I made colors that could go on stage, could go in interviews, that was long wearing, that didn't stick, like when you came out in your evening gown, your hair wouldn't stick to it. And really I kept perfecting the formula and I'm just so happy with it. It's a fan favorite.
It truly is, and I actually just had to get my hands on some more of it. I am actually wearing shade Victoria right now, so
I mean,
I had to.
yes, you had to wear Victoria for the
Exactly. I'm talking to Queen Vic herself. Come on.
I'm wearing Yes Queen. So
Yes.
you need Yes Queen. We gotta send you some.
Almost definitely. I'd love some. Um, but I know that JLo is one of your favorite clients as well, and she is so amazing to have as a client because she's always videographed in your lipstick. But who else have you done? Who else? Because I know that you've done the Oscars, the Emmys, the Grammys.
Mhm.
Who on your team has?
I mean, we have honestly done everyone. I've done 111 celebrities, and some of my favorites are like, the Pussycat Dolls when they, would go on tour, and we just did Adriana. She's Mark Anthony's wife.
Oh my gosh.
And she was first runner up to Miss Universe. We do Miss USA. I just finished doing Miss America. And I love that, we did the whole couple weeks of the pageant,
We
me and
did
my
that.
team. And, Miss America is like the coolest woman alive. She was a fighter pilot and
Oh my gosh.
so beautiful. But I mean, I've done them all. Kamora Lee Sims, you know, we worked with J-Lo and Shakira for the Super Bowl. Um,
You were telling me about that in one of the last pageants that I did. Yes.
ah,
Oh my gosh.
Shakira's so warm and kind, and she's a really great person.
That's incredible. And how did you, from being in Clinique, going into college, going to Paris to learn, how did that transition into you wanting to help pageant girls?
Okay,
Because,
that's a fun story. So I only did celebrities, and I got a call from a girl who was in a who said she was in Colombia and she was going to be in a pageant. And she said, I know, some of the people that you do, and I want to learn from you. She said, I want to come from Colombia. I want to do photo shoots. I want to learn. And she said, it's my first pageant. It's a little local pageant. Okay. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll just do what I do. And I put makeup on her. It was really glowy and dimensional and J-Lo-y. And, and so she looked at it and she says, "Well, we don't wear makeup like this. It's very intense and severe and whatever." And I'm like, "Well, I didn't know how serious it was." So I'm like, "Well, you know what? If you wanna, glowy J-Lo-y look, this is it." So she said, "Okay, I'm gonna compete with it." She competed in her first pageant, she won. She comes back and she says, "Now I'm gonna compete for Miss Columbia," and that's a really tough pageant.
oh,
So
yes.
I said, "Well, let's do the same thing." So everybody was, "Your makeup is so different." They wore tons of like heavy contour, heavy, lipstick, really red lipstick. Pageantry was a different type of makeup years ago. And it was the real intense lipsticks and highlighters and contours and, like really hard. It was almost masking. And I thought, "No, this needs to be healthy, glowy," Uh, this this makeup is crazy. It's like old school. And so she said, all right, she was brave. And she says, I'm going to compete like this, although none of the other girls are going to look like this. I said, well, there's nothing worse than being ordinary. So she won, and she won with the highest score in Columbia's 52 years. So she went on to Miss Universe, and she won Miss Universe. So everybody, I think that really started my career in pageantry because, I didn't realize the intensity of pageantry. I just thought girls were parading around, in bikinis and, that's it. But there is so much more to it, and I have such a respect for the pageant industry because these are women that constantly are working to improve themselves, to improve their, help their community, to help the world. They learn to walk, and then they learn to walk and talk, and they know all the latest topics and do community service. And it's like, the ultimate woman that enters pageants. And the training for pageantry, I think every young girl should have, because it makes them very well rounded. And then, I mean, even when you went on stage, it really, like, you actually were able to connect with the audience, and you were amazing. And that's such
Thank you.
people at such a young age. And I think it just sets you up for winning, life. There can only be one person who goes away with the crown, but it's about winning life. And, I saw that the dedication and the preparation, and I kind of shifted, from the celebrity scene. I do less, I did a celebrity wedding last year, someone from The Bachelor. Uh,
Ooh.
uh, and, we did a big celebrity event where there was 50 celebrities. We did it just, I think, in November, and, like, in the Bahamas, and I'm going to go to a red carpet event, and, but I still do my other stuff. So it's kind of great to have such range in clientele, and it's this year, I'm going to be honored as Celebrity Makeup Artist of the Year by New You magazine, and they're having a big gala, in
Oh
Miami.
my gosh, congratulations.
Thank you. I'm really very honored. It's like a Lifetime Achievement Award, and I think it's because, like I said, I've worked in so many aspects of the industry, and that's just interesting. And you know what I love best? I love doing, like, a wedding and real people, and, um, because I did somebody that I went to high school with, so, yeah, and she said, "Well, I saw you're a makeup artist, and I'm just going to a little event. Can you do my makeup?" I'm like, "Yes." And I was able to transform her. So that's really my passion, is doing that. I'm going to a women's event in, Boston and New Hampshire this weekend, so it's for International Women's, Week. And I'm going to actually do a motivation, inspirational talk and lesson, and then we're gonna do some photo shoots, and, it's nice to just be a part of it a lot, as much as I can. I'm very active. Um, it's fun. I like to have fun like you.
Well, honestly, I don't think I could ever amount to what you've done in
Oh,
such
you
little
probably
time.
have
I mean, you
you've done
opened up.
27 movies. You've done so much.
Thank you. I mean, I don't know if you heard, but I just won Miss World United.
Oh my god, congratulations.
Thank you. I actually have my title right back here.
I mean, you got the crown, the sash.
Yes,
Love it.
I had to.
Well, you have
But I mean, a little bit of backstory for the audience. Um, Me and Miss Victoria met in Miss Florida USA in the competition that I started in 2019. I was Miss Pasco County. I was really fresh on the pageanting scene. I, as you guys
that's
know, used
phenomenal.
to be a tomboy, didn't like having makeup on, didn't like my nails done. But as soon as I got into pageanting, and Miss Victoria and her Glam squad actually taught me how to do my makeup, put on falsies, and actually take care of myself and make sure I could walk, I could talk, I could have all these tips and tricks for future pageants and even in life. She was my motivational mentor,
Oh,
and I just had to ask her to come on here because it's such an honor to, after 5 years, to see where we are now.
wow. I'm so proud of you. Like I said, when got now, PS folks, she was not a mess at all. She was always looks perfect and looked great with no makeup on, but you should see the outfit she would come in the makeup room at 5 in the morning and was dolled up and dressed up. We were baffled, and she was so sweet and always, never complaining. Everybody was, like, about to kill each other. And it was so early, and we're putting makeup on at, like, 4:30 in the morning on people, but you were great, and that's, why you keep doing your thing and winning.
Thank you.
And I think
Yes.
there's a lot to, that. So I also am really excited because I'm, creating an app that should
Really?
yes,
Oh
it
my
should
gosh.
be I think it will probably be done by May. And on that app, I think it's really important. Like there's beauty tips. I do daily pep talks, you know, um, live. So I wanted a community of women that were like-minded, and I have beauty tips on it. I have a lot of wellness tips. And I'm a certified life coach. So I do a lot of coaching too, so that not only you can, really kind of it's called Victorious, and I feel
Ooh.
like a woman who is in charge of herself, and really makes the best of everything that they have already. It declare yourself victorious on every stage of life. And I have something for everyone, but I have my special women over 50, that they at that point, they're just reinventing themselves. Kids are grown up, and they haven't taken, they've taken care of everybody else. And so I feel like it's their
Mhm.
turn. So I do
Exactly. Yes.
things, but I do also want to engage that audience as well. So on
That's
my
incredible.
Instagram, which is Victoria Duke Beauty, I have lots of, little quick tutorials that are really important for helping women of all ages, pageant girls,
Most
etc.
definitely. Yes.
Yeah, and there's lots of wellness tips, that's the one thing I've seen consistent with the stars is that they don't just wake up looking great. They really, you know, they work on it and they go to bed, they prioritize sleep and they ground themselves. They eat foods that aren't processed. They drink plenty of water. They take supplements. All of those things work together to make you not only feel good and, for beauty queens, I mean, it helps you perform better. So,
Exactly.
yeah, I have a lot of wellness tips on there to help with your really, everything. I mean, I do think that it's important that you feel great in order to succeed, to win, but really it makes a difference in your skin. You have such beautiful skin, but it helps women,
Thank you.
who really have never thought that taking care of your skin really kind of has to start from inside.
Most definitely. What a beautiful app. I have to download that as soon as it's out. You have to text me on that.
Yes, definitely. I'll let you know. It's called Victorious, and so it's about declaring yourself victorious,
What a
and
beautiful name and message.
yes. Well, that's, why important it's an important message to me. It's, beauty is so skin deep, and I feel like, at one point in my life, I thought, "Is this a noble aspiration? I'm putting makeup on people." Like, "Is this enough?" And, that I can do in my life and with a degree in psychology, and I realized there's such a connection between how you feel, and how you feel, and how you
Yes.
look. So it's really important, to look at those aspects of your life as well. Um, and I've, worked with so many women that it changed their life, even through coaching, because I do a lot of coaching. I do coaching for beauty queens,
Mhm.
and I feel like, it's important. A lot of times coaching for beauty queens is that starts at a level of how you're gonna walk and how you're gonna talk, but there's so much more because to win, it's really a mental game. It's about energy, and it's the
Really?
yeah, it truly is about energy, and it's like, it could be the most beautiful girl in the world, but if she walks on the stage and her energy's different or wrong or low, she won't
Hmm.
be perceived as a winner. And then the person who, really is connected to their power source, which is themselves, will have a different type of energy, and that's gonna be the person who goes on to win. And all of us in life, it's about protecting and developing our energy and our power.
It truly is. And you've taught me all of that throughout the years. I
But
mean,
you naturally have such a power source, and what I love about you is you look for so many ways to develop yourself and things to do, and you never, rest on your laurels. I credit your parents, and your natural instincts, honestly, because that's kind of who you are. You're always make it happen.
thank you so much. And I know that I mentioned that the Academy of Glam is in South Florida,
Mhm.
but for our audience that may want to come and find you or take lessons or model, because I know that you need models sometimes,
Yes.
um, where can they find you directly?
So they can direct message us on Victoria Duke Beauty,
Hmm.
and let us know what they're interested in. So I think one of the things that's so important, I think every woman at some point should have one, is a lesson, and a lot of people go on TikToks and, or go on, YouTube, but it's on another person's face, the people applying. So what we do is we take all your pictures, your inspiration pictures, whatever. We really connect with you. And then we do a lesson. You can do it anywhere in the world. In fact, we have clients all over the world. A lot of people that are going for Miss Universe actually connect with us, like from all different countries. It's fun. And we do a one-on-one. So it's like I'm sitting here talking to you. I can see you, obviously.
Hmm.
And so, we say, here now, put this here, and you actually mimic everything that we're doing, and you learn how to apply makeup to your face. And that's one of the best. It's $300. You get makeup
Hmm.
with it sent to you, and that will last you a lifetime because you learn about your face structure, you learn about, you get all of the notes. So that's one way that, people can learn right away. And as my app comes out too, it's going to have all those tips and tricks and even modules to learn how to be a makeup artist. So you don't have
Nice.
to live that's our biggest problem because people all over the country want to. The Academy Glam is kind of iconic. And
It
that's
really is.
uh, so many incredible makeup artists have come through the doors of the Academy of Glam. And now it's getting to a point where people write every day, like from different places. And they say, I can't move down there for 18 weeks. Like, how can I take the course? And so we do it online, and we're actually going to be doing it on my app in different modules so they can complete it a certification program as their budget permits, their time, location, and the privacy of their own home. And then we're going to have like little like Academy of Glam on the road. So like let's say we'll go to
Nice.
your town, and the whole team's there and a photographer and all that, models. You might be a model. Um, the models and the girls shoot and learn different aspects of makeup artistry. It's 3 days. It's an intensive. We rent, like we did it in Tampa. We rent like this big Airbnb, like it was a mansion. And then we have actually the classes in there. Now, this all sounded like a good idea
Mhm.
until the night before, and we were like 3 of us were sitting in this big mansion, and we were, like, so scared because you never think about that. It's like noises, and you're in this, like, there's so many rooms and stuff, but when all the students arrived, it was fun. But it was a little scary there the night before. But
I
it's
wish I knew you were in Tampa.
yeah, are you near Tampa?
I actually am. I'm about 30 minutes out.
Oh, stop it. Well, we're gonna be in Tampa again, and so I will be
Yay!
harassing you. Carlos, Velez, who is a celebrity photographer, which you know,
Yes.
and, Chloe, my daughter, um, we sometimes go to Tampa, like, we always have, like, a little fun trip, and we go for, like, 3 days in Tampa and go to all the restaurants and hang out. That's where we meet because it's kind of a midway point. So we will definitely be calling you and bothering you.
Well, never a bother. I mean, if I get to see the famous Victoria Duke,
I mean,
as long as
as long as I
you
get to
guys will
see him
have me,
first,
as long as you guys will have me.
we will, definitely.
And speaking of Carlos, are you still working with him
Yeah,
directly?
yeah, he in fact was just down, in early February, and we had a shootout. So we did, like, 25 people. We did their hair and makeup, and then he shot them. In fact, we did, the current Miss World America, which is Victoria DeSorbo.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we shot her, and now she's in India competing for Miss World. And I've worked so closely with her, so we're all cheering her on. But there was a lot of people. Jules Meyer, I don't know if you know, she does the PRU, which is pageant ready.
Nice.
Yeah, so she brought all the girls in there, and it was like a pageant weekend. It was real fun. And but Carlos came down, so we did a lot of shoots, definitely.
That's incredible. But I would love to see you, and I would love to see Carlos again. And Chloe, speaking of,
Chloe, when
oh my gosh.
she's like, "Thought you were gonna hide." She was out of town, so they rented a house in, Colorado just to go skiing for a month, because they both work from home, her and her husband,
Mhm.
and so she just came back and she's like, I think you were hiding the big, meeting with Brie." He's like, "Keep her all to yourself, but don't worry, I found the link and I'm gonna watch."
Hi, Chloe. Miss you, girl.
She's jealous.
I'll have to have her on because
I
she's an
know,
influencer. She has over 100,000
and
followers on
300,000
Instagram.
TikTok. And she's on commercials, like, people write me every day and they're like, "Was that Chloe?" I'm like, "Yes," but it says her name on it, for God's sake. Uh, she's on the Weight Watchers commercials. And sh
Yes.
Yeah, she got to cook with Dr. Oz's daughter, Daphne Oz, who has a cooking show, and she really, brings a lot of wellness information, eating healthy, but it really kinda, like, to be a normal person and eat healthy, like, I'm
Mhm.
not like, older or people who are, like, avoiding everything. You guys are out and about, so she helps with the best choices and, so she's average dot fitfluencer, on Instagram. So you gotta watch her. We were on Oprah
Okay.
together, Chloe and I, uh,
Mhm.
and we did a mother-daughter, little interview with Oprah, and
Oh my gosh.
everybody said, "No, oh, you are the local Oprah," and but once I did the interview with Oprah, she out Oprah'd me. So I was like a little ooh, weeping willow, and Oprah was like, but anyway, that interview is on.
Honest. That's incredible. And so, what did you talk about with Oprah? That's such an inspiration and such an
Right.
icon to be talking to.
Well, so she had a show called Better Together, so she does, like, once a year, like, a big where she travels. But this was right after, COVID, not right after, but like 6 months to a year after COVID, and
Mhm.
people still weren't traveling around or, commingling that much in large groups. So she did it all via, the computer, and she had 100 people, that she was, like a group of 100 people that, had they weren't all on. She had 3 people on, um, but she picked 100 people that had joined another person, like a team. It's called Better Together. um,
Mhm.
and, who had collaborated with them to make their life better. So for Chloe, she had the whole, story of Chloe is that she went through the process of losing weight in a healthy manner, and she lost 65 pounds on Weight Watchers. And I knew it was her wedding was coming up. Um,
Mhm.
and I thought, if I tell Chloe I want to go and I need help, she'll fall for it. But I knew she would benefit from it because Weight Watchers has kind of all the things Chloe, which is they give prizes, you get awards, you get acknowledgement for every pound you lose. So I'm like, "You wanna go to a local meeting?" So we got a big group of people to go together and go to a local meeting, and everyone did great, but Chloe lost 65 pounds for her wedding and actually works for Weight Watchers, helping influence and teach and guide people, and that's where she's on all the Weight Watchers commercials. But, it was a wonderful experience. So the interview she did with us was a mother-daughter team and how we joined forces, and we did, something together to go on walks, make recipes, and incorporating healthy living in our lives. So it was a great, it's a great interview. I kind of let Chloe take the lead because Oprah was them. It's funny. No, actually. Um, but anyway,
That's incredible. And you guys have been on magazines together as well.
we've been and also it's funny now that you mention it. Chloe and I did a commercial together out of Academy of Glam. Academy of Glam that's my studio, as you know,
Mhm.
it's like a Barbie dream house. So, it's all pink and leather chairs and velvet couches and,
Yes.
all the crowns, and so actually they did a commercial that Chloe and I starred in, so, and what was it for? It's for, I think, a hospital system where we talked about, like, we were a mother-daughter t we're always built as the mother-daughter team because we're the mother-daughter.
Mhm.
Um, so it was, yeah, about we were a mother-daughter team and how, this healthcare system was great, but they filmed us all in there because they wanted, like, different people that had different lives and did interesting things. So that was that.
That's incredible. And I know I did a little bit of research before this, and to
Uh-oh.
look into your awards, your magazines, your everything. Oh my gosh. It's so mind boggling to think that I'm actually speaking to
No.
one of the ones that was recognized as one of the most influential women in 2014. That's so cool. How
Oh.
did you get to that point?
You
Was
know
it through a magazine or what did you
So
go
it was I do a lot of community service. I'm really fueled by helping other people and making an impact and a difference. So I kind of took on right at the, onset of creating our beautiful facility. I felt like there had to be a place, there's places for people work out their bodies, but I wanted a place for women to work out their minds and souls and be refreshed. So we do a lot of things for women, special needs children, that we come in and we have them come in and just feel beautiful. And I do empowerment seminars, and I've done, I do every year, would do something for the special needs community, which is near and dear to my heart. My son is autistic, so the kids would come in and they would have a field day and a field trip, and we'd do their makeup and do little fashion shows, and so it's just I was really recognized. It was for being an empowering woman, and then I won a award as a shero, and it's just for I created something called Glam for Good, and it's like the ultimate girl gang, and in fact, today, the Glam for Good, we all went to something called Broward 211 Awards, and that's for all the nonprofit awards that help people like women in distress and, you know, they have programs for everything from mental health to, children with special needs, to people who can't pay their bills or are homeless. So it's all the agencies that help all the groups of people that, are in distress. And every year my team and I go, and these are the awards for the people who are dedicating really their life and their service, and we do all of their makeup, and we want them to feel as beautiful, as they are to other people. I think that to be successful, and that's what I've been recognized for. But I think, as Ralph Waldo Emerson said, it's to make sure one life breathes easier, that is to have succeeded. And that's my goal, constantly, is to make people breathe easier, and that is true success.
And it's an incredible message, and you are so inspiring.
Oh, thank you.
You are truly an icon that I am blessed to have met. Um, I just gotta ask. So, September Fashion Week, where can we be finding you?
Fashion Week, let's see, where am I in September? Well, I'll be in New York, definitely, and I do a lot of fashion shows, so, and, that's one of the things I love doing. Um, this year, or actually right at the end of last year, Belmont, they did their first fashion show in the United States. So they always do their fashion shows in Paris or Milan, and I was the lead artist and my team for the Belmont show. We just did a show last week. That was wonderful. I just did a show in LA for Oscar de la Renta, so I don't know where the wind will take me, but, we're gonna be doing something in New York, and also we have fashion shows here in Miami for Miami Fashion Week.
Well, we're gonna have to get together on that too.
Yes. Are
I'm
you
actually going to be in a fashion show up there. Yeah,
in New York? Do you
I am. I'm
Oh,
going to be for Bad Influence. It's going to be their first fashion show in New York.
that's so exciting. Well, I'll come and do your makeup, that's for sure. Is it in early September?
It is.
Okay.
So it's going to be September 8th.
Okay, well, that's okay. I'm booked early in September. I know to do a big fashion show, and a big wedding, but we'll have to connect and figure that out. You heard it here first, folks. She's walking New York Fashion Week. Your picture was in Times Square.
Yes.
I mean, pardon me?
Things are popping off
Yeah. Mm, they
like they are for you. I mean,
yeah.
an app and so many. How many new makeup artists can we see coming out of your doors?
Well, we just graduated an amazing class of makeup artists, and they actually worked with me, for the fashion show we just did last week, and they worked with me today for Glam for Good. Um, they're phenomenal, and it's funny because they're so good, I don't even wanna reach
Yeah.
out to them, but they won't let me. So I said to them, I'm gonna give them a couple of extra fun classes, but really just to develop them even further, I'm not having we used to have classes every month, we'd start new class, not every month, but every couple of months we'd start new classes. And honestly, for selfish reasons, I want to, and for them, I want to develop them into incredible makeup artists, and I want to add, start adding. The world's changed for makeup artists, and because of TikTok and because of, a lot of other things. And in fact, I think it's for good because people are wanting not only to have their makeup done, but they're wanting to learn and be more empowered by makeup artists. And makeup artists are able to display their work through social media. In the old days, it was
Mhm.
like get a big portfolio and walk around to all the agencies. But now, and really be showcased in social media, and the name of the game for makeup artists is to develop your bio. And so I want to give these, makeup artists that are hungry to, you know, continue to emerge as top artists. I want to give them experiences that, that they would never have. I brought a couple of graduates to Miss America, and they worked on, production of Miss America, and they would have never, had the opportunity to develop that, and to have that on their bio. So these are the things that I want to do. They fly with me and do things, and so I I I would say there's constantly new amazing makeup artists that graduate from our school, but it's really once they've graduated, I want them to have the experience and to build their bio to really be successful and, abundant artists, and that's the name of the game.
Honestly. And I know that we mentioned it before, but your studio, Victoria Duke Academy or Academy of Glam.
Yes. So it's
Oh my
really
gosh.
there's 3, businesses, under the same umbrella, and that's why it's confusing too. But it's Academy of Glam, which is our school for makeup artists,
Hmm.
Victoria Duke Beauty, which is our studio, and then there's our makeup brand, our makeup and wellness line, which is Victoria Duke Beauty Cosmetics. So, the Victoria Duke Beauty team goes out and does fashion shows, photo shoots, weddings, and many times they come through our doors as, our top students, and then they work with me for about 6 months, to have all the experiences, and then they become our team of artists, and then our cosmetics are on www.victoriadukebeauty.com, and also we're gonna be putting on information about our app and how to learn more about some of the other things that we have coming up,
Yes.
like Brie Burke and Fashion Week.
Hey, I mean, that is small potatoes compared to you,
Mhm.
especially for such an absolute beauty icon who has done numerous fashion weeks, both February, September, who has done LA Fashion Week, who has done Milan, Paris. Small potatoes compared to New York
I
Fashion Week
mean,
right now.
but you are so young and just beginning,
Thank
so
you.
lots to come.
Very, very true. And I hope that one day I am just as fabulous as you are.
Oh, you are as fabulous.
Thank you. And I have a couple more questions for you.
Well, I'm ready.
So, what made you want to go into psychology? I know that you wanted to branch out in the beauty industry, but what made you think maybe I should take a couple of psychology courses? Maybe I should get this under my belt.
Well, you know what? It's funny because when I was young, I was always doing everybody's makeup, and that's just, something like I did everybody for prom and I did everybody's makeup. But my parents had art galleries. So every year they would go to Paris, and my sister and I were, cheerleading and doing other things, and we didn't want to go to Paris. Like the 17 I mean, we'd go 7 I had gone 17 summers to Paris, and I was like to me, it was, now it's so magical, but I was like, "Can I have cheerleading, camp, and do all the other things other normal kids are doing?" So my parents put us in makeup school and, in Paris because my mom was Greek and my dad's Italian, and nobody stays home without a parent. So we had and so they put us in makeup school, and we loved it. My sister modeled in the day, and we loved makeup school. I loved the mechanics, and in Paris we learned more of the architecture of the face, which really is what beauty is. It's very much a mathematical equation, and people think it's just like slap it on something, but it's really the absence of color and the presence of light. So I learned to see people and their architecture first and foremost, and then put the pretty colors on. But that's how it all started. But I had a true interest in school in psychology, what made people do things, what made people feel things, how can we, but more importantly, how can we reverse it if they're feeling, a certain dark way, or if they're not motivated or inspired or whatever, how can I help change that? And so I in school, I studied it, but there was always that, makeup background. And I found that the two were great components for each other because beauty is very, much a game of the mind, and feeling good about yourself and transforming is a procedure that is, it's funny because then I branched into from my psychology. I got certified in life coaching, NLP communication. I can hypnotize with my no, I'm just kidding. But the mind is a beautiful thing to me, and I really feel that it is a real key component in beauty. I say beauty is an inside job, and it's about wellness, and it's about making sure your mind's right. Because if your mind's not right, you're not ever going to be right outside. So it's about working on that and making yourself feel special. And those are the things that I learned. There's certain principles of psychology that were so important. Um, and they're kind of fundamental in even creating my products, which I always created everything with the idea of empowerment, and I always call it empowdered. Um, so I try to powder women with a inspirational card with every purchase or every item. There's a little inspiration card that reminds you of certain things, little reminders of, like, if it doesn't open, it wasn't, or if the door doesn't open, it wasn't your door, and there's just, I mean, that's one of hundreds, and I always send a motivational or inspirational message with it because I think that's true beauty, is to be able to combine those 2 things.
It's the beauty of the mind and the beauty of the person. It
Mhm.
truly is. And it's such a beautiful place to be in life where you can actually say, you have a beautiful mind, you have a beautiful face, you have a beautiful body, you're just beautiful overall.
Right, but again, if it doesn't start from inside, you won't, you can't, the beauty is not energetically, doesn't really communicate, it to the world. So, I think that's so important.
It truly is. And a lot of young girls nowadays truly need that.
Yes. The world needs,
The world needs it, yes.
yeah.
And I know with your app coming out, I'm just so excited about that.
I am too, because it's like combining all the things that I love. I just feel like it wasn't enough just to be able to tell people where to put the eyeshadow. I want, that's why I do daily pep talks. I think that's so important. You have a little life coach right in your phone,
Exactly.
and it's got, meditations for all different things, little lectures about all different things. And so no matter where you are, you can be on a plane, you can be waiting at a doctor's office, and you can listen to something that's going to really help change your, how you feel, the trajectory of your day. So,
Thank you so much for coming on.
my pleasure, anytime.
It was so wonderful talking to you again. Let me know when you come back to Tampa.
Yes,
And I definitely have to make a trip down and go back to the academy.
right. You're on our TikTok. If
I
anyone,
am. I am.
yes, you're a star of our TikTok.
Thank
Um,
you. I
yeah,
mean, and I have to see Lexi and Daisy. Oh my
the whole
gosh.
gang.
It's been
Yes,
so long.
it's been too long.
It truly has. But
But
thank you
thank
so
you,
much once again.
and thank you for
It
having
was
and sharing. I think it's important for us women to collaborate and share. And, it's just, and you're such an inspiring young woman that I'm so glad that you're sending that message out to other young girls. So,
thank you.
all
Yes.
right.
Coming in at 3 a.m. into the morning for makeup.
That was something.
That was truly something. I remember one year. you guys loved my dress after I showed you guys a picture, and you're like, "You look like a Disney princess.
Oh,
You're
always.
a Disney
You
princess."
are a Disney princess. Yeah, always a Disney princess. Every you the outfits, the flair, the energy, you definitely are a standout. And
Thanks.
that's, there's nothing it's your energy and it's your beauty. You are beautiful inside and powerful. So I wish you the best. Thank you for having me
Thank you.
and hope to see you soon.
I hope to see you soon as well. Thank you so much again. And to everyone watching, you can find Miss Victoria through her Instagram, her TikTok, and her academy.